Amityville Memorial High School is where A.J. Price first showed his skills on the court, winning 3 Long Island high school championships. After college, he pursued a professional career for teams like the Indiana Pacers and the Minnesota Timberwolves. But he returned to Amityville, where he's coaching basketball for the next generation with first-hand knowledge and a love of the sport. We'll discuss his life and career, plus we'll announce this year's All Long Island basketball players during this special Newsday Live conversation. Welcome to Newsday Studios. I'm your host, Gregg Sarra, and I'm joined by former Amityville superstar A.J. Price, who also played at UConn and in the NBA for 6 years. A.J., welcome.
Thank you.
We're excited to have him here tonight to speak to all the All Long Island players, boys and girls, and to talk about his journey from Amityville through the NBA and what he's doing now with his life. First question, coaching. Did you ever think you'd be that guy mentoring all the kids in Amityville?
No, I never saw myself coaching as I was playing coming up, but it definitely suffices me. The competitor, the competition, it definitely fills that void for me.
A lot of talent in the room, a lot of people going on to play basketball at the next level. We talked a lot about this with the NIL, with the difficulties of high school kids going on to the next level. And why prep school is becoming the norm and reclassification is becoming the norm. And you have a whole look at how that works and your thoughts about the NIL.
You know, the NIL has made things great and difficult at the same time. It's great for the collegiate athlete, you know, to have a chance to be able to make money in college, playing a sport. I think it's a great opportunity for young kids, but at the same time, it makes it harder on the high school kids. If I'm a college coach making millions of dollars and my job is on the line, who am I going to trust more, a 17 or 18-year-old or a 22, 23-year-old? I think the answer is pretty obvious, unless the 18-year-old is out of this world. So. You know, with JUCO, prep schools, and things like that, it's giving the high school kid more time to prepare, to be ready to play immediately at the college level when you get there.
So with the NCAA changing the rule, you could go to JUCO now. You can play 2 years. Right. It doesn't count against the clock. Is that part of what's helping them more mature, get to the next level? Is that helpful?
Yes, prime example. It's very helpful. You know, before, when you had to go to JUCO, it would hinder you because you would lose those 2 years and then have to go somewhere and perform and only have 2 years to do it. So to have a chance to go to JUCO, prepare yourself mentally, physically for that next level and still have 4 years is a great advantage for young kids.
So I'm going to take you back. In high school, AJ averaged 29 points per game. He's a big assist leader in Long Island. Was not just the guy that went to the bucket, also distributed the ball really well. He was a 2-time Newsday Player of the Year, a 3-time state champion. They also won the Federation Championship. Amityville was one of the greatest programs of all time through the 90s and into the 2000s. I mean, Jack Agostino, the head coach, who's back there now, who you're now working with, is a tremendous mentor and somebody who really takes care of the players and the kids in the program. And talk about your relationship with your coach and how that helped spur you on to bigger and better things in life.
Always had a great relationship with Jack. Since I was in school playing for him, always enjoyed playing for him, and now coaching with him, working with him, it's the same thing. Just seeing how he interacts with kids, I learned a lot from him. From such a young age, he deals with kids from 6th, 7th, 8th grade, and then he'll stay with those same kids all the way through high school and build that relationship that really, in my case, carries out all through life. And I've seen it with other players that he's had. So I learned a lot from him in that aspect of how to deal with young kids, how to gain their trust, and build those bonds and relationships that will carry on for the rest of your life.
What I've always admired about Jack Agostino is how he deals with all kids They come from different situations. Not everybody has the silver spoon. Not everybody has what everybody has with a car, food on the table, a comfortable bed. He's told me stories that just blow your mind. Now that you're back in Amityville, do you see some of that?
Definitely. From a rough town, rough neighborhood, and there's a lot of hardships that these kids face. So I definitely see that, and we try to do as best we can to help the kids out in any way we can.
So you were blessed with such great ability. You had the option of, I'll get it right, Florida State, Kansas, St. John's, UConn.
Right.
Why UConn?
Honest, my mother.
Okay, there you go.
My mother, that's the true answer.
Well, I said who was your hero earlier. You told me it was your father.
Yeah.
So you come from a tight family.
Very tight family, basketball knit family. My father played, my mother played as well. But initially, I wanted to go to Kansas. That was my first visit, and they just wowed me. They knocked my socks off. I was ready to commit there, but my mother, being the basketball mom she is, at every game, every practice since a young kid, Kansas was just too far for her. So I took my next visit to UConn, and they wowed me as well, and that ended up being the choice I made.
Curious, was Jason Frazier, who was also a superstar at Amityville during those days, was he in the same boat? He picked Villanova, but did he have the same? He was recruited all over the country.
Yes, Jay Frey. So Jason was a very good friend of mine still, but he was really the first superstar I was around. I learned a lot from him as well, how to deal with the lights and everything that comes with basketball. He really showed me how big basketball was, to be honest with you. He was a McDonald's All-American, top 10 player in the country. So I've seen NBA teams in Amityville looking at him.
So we talked about the journey, how everybody's journey is different. It's not always smooth. There are mistakes made along the way. It's how you rebound from the adversity, how you persevere. And you're a perfect example of that, twofold. One was you had a medical event where you had a brain bleed and you had to have surgery, and you thought you'd never play basketball again. How scary was that?
Probably the hardest thing I've ever been through. To not think I wasn't going to play again, to be told that. I literally was told that by doctors. There would be no more basketball and just forget about it. It was only the one thing I've known how to do my whole life. So it was really hard just to hear that. And extremely tough, just thinking about it now. But like you spoke of, perseverance, and I'm just trying to overcome that. I've never lost that dream. I always told myself I would play, and to come back from that and still go to the NBA is just a blessing in itself,
So when you look back at your life, and you had that tough situation when you first started at UConn, and then before your career even got started, you got in a little bit of trouble. And Jim Calhoun, the head coach at UConn, said, well, now you're not playing this season. What were you going through in that part of your life? You've survived the brain surgery, and now you put yourself in a situation where you don't know what's going to happen. But it worked out pretty good. You played the next 3 years. You were an All-American. You were the Big East Player of the Year in 2008. Take us through that.
Just like I said, it was a very tough time mentally for me. When I got in trouble at school, it was right after I got sick. No more basketball. The world just didn't seem right to me, and it allowed me to make foolish decisions off the court. And I paid my time, did my dues, and it was important for me to come back to the same place where it happened at, where I made the mistake. And that's what I did. I returned back to UConn and wanted to show everybody I was a changed person, changed man, matured. And I did that. Successfully finished 3 years after that. Basketball-wise, did great things, and continued my career from there.
Your life is amazing in all of that you've accomplished and all of that you've been through. You've also played in one of the greatest college basketball games of all time. He played in a 6 overtime game against Syracuse. I'm sorry to bring it up.
Yeah.
Scored 36 points, 10 assists, had one of the best games of your career. Fouled out in the 6th overtime. And I think UConn was in trouble without him against Syracuse. It was a quarterfinal game of the Big East tournament. And Syracuse upset then third-ranked UConn, 117. How cool was that game to be a part of that?
When we were in it, didn't realize how epic it was.
Right.
Just turn the TV on and still see it being played to this day. I never thought it was that type of game, but it really was. I tell a funny story that we started playing it at like 9 o'clock that night, 8:30 or something, and I remember one overtime, I found the clock and it was like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, and we're still playing basketball. And the funny thing is that whoever won that game, Syracuse ended up winning, they had to play at 9 o'clock that night. And it was like 2 in the morning, we still playing basketball. But it was one of the best games ever. Great game to be a part of. I'll never forget it.
So your basketball career at UConn ends. You're drafted by the Indiana Pacers. You have a 6-year career in the NBA. You played with a couple different teams. You have a couple of great games. You scored 24 against Chicago. You had a couple games with 8 assists. You get to the show. Was it everything you thought it would be, or was it more?
It's everything you think about or dream about. You literally out there with the best players in the world. So from that aspect, it was that. There's a lot of other things that go on, politics, but that's everywhere. But to see the greatest players night in, night out, it was definitely what you thought it was.
So you've had the opportunity to play with guys like Kyrie Irving, LeBron James. LeBron James is one of the greatest players of all time. What's that like, being on the court with a guy who is a mega superstar?
It's the tough thing about being professional. At that level, you got to understand you're here too. So it's really no taking a back seat or thinking someone's greater than you. And that's the part of being up there and staying up there. But just to play with those guys, it was great to see how hard somebody like LeBron James works. I like to tell kids, I played with him and I got to see how he works day in and day out. And that was very impressive. Literally the small things you hear, first guy in the gym, last guy to leave, well, that was LeBron James.
Growing up, we all have our idols, favorite players. Who was yours?
Easily my father, Tony Price. My first trainer, first coach, first everything was him.
Was he hard on you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, if I'm being honest. But he had a short NBA career. He played for 2 years. So the whole time he was raising me, he just kept telling me I got to go further than him. So that's how we did. That's how we did it. We had a great relationship.
So you get back into coaching. You're with Jack, who's one of your favorite people. But you said something really telling about coaching. Your advice to young players, and share that with them.
I want to tell y'all the amount of work that it takes to achieve what you're trying to achieve. And everyone's goal, first and foremost, should be getting a scholarship to play at the next level. That should be your first goal. Shouldn't be the NBA, shouldn't be WNBA. If those things happen, great, but your first goal should be going to school for free. And the amount of work that comes with trying to achieve these goals is enormous. You have to separate yourself. You can't do what everybody else does.
So you've had the opportunity to work with one of the best players on Long Island, Amir Dickerson, and he's in the room, and you've said some things about him that really blew me away, about your relationship and how you're mentoring him. How important is that to you to take a young person and help mold them to be successful?
I get great satisfaction out of it. Not just Amir's case, any kid, whether he pans out, and when I say pan out, I mean playing basketball for money one day, going to school, or he doesn't, it doesn't really matter to me. Just the joy out of living in the moment now, watching him work now, watching him do better in school. These are all things just from in the moment now, the mentoring, small things. So great satisfaction, like I said, to see that for him and any other kid that I deal with. I try to do the same thing.
The best advice you can give everybody in the room is to watch basketball, and why?
It's how you learn the game. I know in y'all era now, you watch highlights. Highlights is the new thing. So actually, did you see the game? You saw a couple highlights. Say, yeah, I watched it. But that's not watching the game. You got to get back to watching full games and learn the game. That was huge for me when I came up. Me and my father used to watch games all day, every day.
Speaking about the NIL, tough situation, or maybe not a tough situation. Cooper Flagg loses in the NCAA tournament with Duke. He's the projected #1 pick in the NBA draft. Is it worth it to stay in college with all the NIL money and try to win that national championship, or no, he's too good, he should move on and take that big contract?
It's a tough one, but I think in his case, he's just a little different.
Business decision?
Big business decision. I think in his case, he's just passing up too much money if he stays. There would be no NIL that could get the type of money he's going to get by being #1 pick next year.
You also shared with me you had spoken to college coaches about recruitment, about some of the great players that we have here. We have one of the best prep schools in the country in Long Island Lutheran, boys and girls. But it's tough to get recruited because they're taking kids that are 23, 24. How tough is that for those kids, coming out, not getting the same opportunities that you may have gotten?
Yeah, it's a totally different ball game, like I said, due to the transfer portal, NILs. It just makes things that much tougher. With that being said, it's not impossible. It may just delay things a year or two now. And I think that's the biggest difference. Instead of maybe hitting college 17, 18, Division I I'm speaking of, you may do it now at 19, 20.
All right, I'm going to go here. Girls basketball is exploding. UConn has had one of the best programs in the last 2 decades. Who was the best player at UConn when you were there?
Maya Moore, easy.
Yeah.
Maya Moore.
And now you watch Paige Buchers. She's a projected first-round pick. Is it wise for her to go to the WNBA, or does she have so much NIL money it's wise to stay in school like other players have, for the girls, for the women?
Well, in Paige's situation, she's graduating, if I'm not mistaken. So she did all 4 years.
Oh, that's impressive.
Right? And it's a reason she did all 4 years. She was making good money off her NIL deal. More money. She's made more money in college than she would have made in the WNBA. So in female basketball, it's amazing, the NIL. They're really having the opportunity to make more money than they would make at the next level.
When you look at the women's game at that level, how happy are you to see that it's blossomed and that the WNBA is thriving?
I love to watch the women's game, sometimes more than men's, because they're more fundamentally sound. They pay attention to detail. They play the game the right way. So I'm very glad to see that the WNBA is finally getting the notoriety, not just the WNBA, but college basketball as well. These girls getting the notoriety that they deserve.
So you didn't pick St. John's, you picked UConn, but you said you were a fan of St. John's. How did you enjoy their run this year and how Pitino turned the program around?
It was great. It was great to see. Coach Pitino. I played against him. I love his style. I've always loved his style. I always loved him as a coach. I still watch him, so still learn things from him as well. So it was great to see St. John's. Talik Brown, who's on the staff, a great friend of mine, went to UConn as well. So they had a huge year. Wasn't surprised, though, to see Pitino turn it around as fast as he did. It's what he does. We've seen it time and time again. So it'll be interesting to see those guys going forward.
So you're a family man, 2 beautiful little girls. Will they play basketball?
Yes. Go on the record and say it. Both of them, yes.
I like it. What would be your message to all the players in the room as far as family goes? How important is family?
Huge, huge. In my situation, they were my cornerstone, my base. Came with me from the beginning, stayed on that journey with me the whole time. So I think it's extremely important as a player to have a good support system behind you, and that starts with your family.
We have a lot of New York Knicks fans in the room. Are they playing coy? Can they beat the Celtics, the Cavaliers in Oklahoma City, or no, they're just not there yet? Come on, I need to know.
I watched the game the other night. It's just not there yet.
One more step.
Just not there yet.
Jalen Brunson, one of the better players in the NBA?
Absolutely, absolutely. I tell all small guards to watch him. He's not the fastest, the quickest, most athletic. He's fundamentally sound. And you see what that can get you.
Well, I enjoyed our conversation. I think you shared a lot of really, really cool thoughts and your ideas of how things should work. And our guy Steve Morris is going to walk around. We're going to take questions from the audience. And please raise your hand if you'd like to ask AJ a question. And don't be shy.
How are you? Let me ask you a question. So I watched a lot of basketball in the early 80s, and then I kind of stopped watching pro basketball like right after like Pat Riley left the Knicks. But how do you feel? Like I can't even watch the game today because no one plays defense. It's just they're going out there and just popping jump shots, and that's it. There's no physicality. Like I think the game's soft now. How do you feel about the change in that? You know, like college basketball is the only thing that kind of comes back to like fundamental basketball,
Right.
you know, and it just, I don't know, I just don't enjoy it. But
Got you. I would agree with you though. It is a different game, very different. It is much softer, more jump shot oriented now. Do I say I like it? I can't say I hate it either at the same time, sorry. I like older basketball better. I would agree with you there, but I think the new game is fun. It's fun to watch.
You got a few more? Couple coaches?
Somebody got to have a question there. There we go.
There you go.
Michael or LeBron? That's the easy one. Michael. Oh, they taking the questions, all right.
I know the answer to this, but maybe you can enlighten the audience. What was the greatest win you had as a high school player?
Greatest win as a high school player is a good question. We had the opportunity to play LeBron James his junior year, my sophomore year, and we beat him. The man who's ever only lost, I think, 3 or 4 high school games in his whole career. That was the greatest win. A funny story is he remembered it. I got a chance to play with him, and one day we got off the plane, we were on a bus headed to the hotel, and a bunch of us in the back of the bus just talking about different players who didn't make it from our eras. And out of nowhere, he used to call me Price is Right. He goes, Price is Right. Remember we played y'all in high school? I was like, yeah, I remember. You remember? But that was a great game, man. Great win.
So AJ's being modest. Before we take the next question, LeBron James hit a 4-point play to give them the lead with seconds left. And guess who hit the basket to win it for Amityville? Right here. So, of course he remembered that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's a great memory. Come on, some of the young ladies in the room.
Oh, I'm sorry. Not a young lady, but
Oh, you're okay. You're good.
if you had to do it over again, what would you do differently?
That's a good question. I would work even harder. Honestly, I would work even harder. As hard as I did work to make it, I think at some point I became satisfied. Stopped working as hard. I wish I never would have stopped.
You talk about your work ethic, right? And you talk about the family bond. And can you just elaborate a little more about a couple of things? First, what does it take to play on that level, on a UConn type level? One, and you spoke about your work ethic. Can you describe what your work ethic, what your day was in college? And I'll leave it at just those two. So your work ethic and your day in college from, let's say, 5 a.m. in the morning.
All right. It's a good question. I'll get to, well, the work ethic starts before college. I'll start before college because we're in high school here. So if you do work out or you are working out, ask yourself, how many jump shots are you making a day, right? At 14, around that age, I was making 1,000 a day. Just to put it in some perspective for you. Not shooting 1,000, I was making 1,000 a day. That could take me 2 hours, could take me 4 hours, depending on how I'm shooting, right? So that was at 14, 15. I've been working like that all the way before college. So now when I get to college and they make us wake up for breakfast as a team, 8 o'clock, whatever. Then you go lift for the first time as a team. And you play right after for a couple hours. And then do that 5 days a week. And maybe have a workout in between each and every time you play. If you're doing this 5 days a week, mentally I was prepared because I was used to work. But I've seen guys struggle with that when they first see that amount of work that's required. Not asked to do, required. So on a given day, a given week, between the gym and the weight room, a given day, you easily could be there 6 to 7 hours. So you add it up and do the math and see how much time you have to put in to be great. That's if you want to be great, because somebody's doing that somewhere else.
How important or how, I'm looking for the right word here, when you were selected for the all-decade team, and we did 7 decades of boys, 5 of girls, because girls really started in the 70s. We learned a lot about the history of girls basketball. And you were one of the 10 people selected to that decades team. And I don't know if people understand the enormity of it, but we talked about it inside. There are 100 boys picked for the all-decade team for all Long Island in 10 years. Same thing with the girls. So we were tasked with picking 10 out of the 100. You know, it's not a perfect science, but we talked about Amityville winning 3 state titles. They had won 4 in the decade and a federation championship. And we left off one of their great players. But we were in a tough spot. We had 11, and we had to figure out who would be the last person. And I had thought that Tristan Smith should be our 10th guy. Great player, great guy. And I felt horrible leaving him off because it felt like you let somebody down. But Tim Doyle, in his own right, had a phenomenal career also. So we ended up going outside of Newsday and asking 5 people to weigh in on it, and Doyle ended up getting the 10th spot. I've had people writing to us about this decade, how come we haven't done it yet? Because it's not over. But there's a lot of great players in this room that I would fully expect to be a part of that for the 2020 decade. So I just wanted to congratulate you for that. And I know it meant something to you. You know, when you first saw that, what did you think?
It was definitely a cool accomplishment. I was definitely flattered by it.
Yeah, when you look back and you look at the history, you can learn a lot from reading about the things that happened way before your time. And that's why that was a lot of fun doing that with Mike Candell, who covered basketball here for 25 years. So it was beautiful. So I want to thank you again, AJ.
Thank you.
How about we
Thank
give
you.
it up for AJ Price? We're going to take a pause, clear the stage, and then we have some things to give out to our All Long Island players, all right? So we'll be right back. Our first group will be the girls basketball All Long Island first team. Taylor Brown of Long Island Lutheran. Emma Heaney of Plainview Old Bethpage JFK. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Jada Hood of Brentwood High School. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Olivia Jones, Long Island Lutheran. Ryan Reynolds, Cold Spring Harbor High School. Congratulations. You had a great year.
Congratulations.
Destiny Robinson, St. Mary's High School.
Congratulations.
Samantha Schneider, Syosset High School. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Kayla Solomon, St. Mary's High School.
Congratulations.
Our Suffolk County Player of the Year, Jasmine McKay, North Babylon High School. With a capital K.
Congratulations.
Last year, Jasmine and I spoke on the phone. We kept spelling the last name with a small K. So we had a conversation. She's like, it's a capital K. So we got it right this whole year, so I'm happy with that. Our Newsday Player of the Year is Peyton Doolin of Baldwin High School.
Congrats.
Our Suffolk County Coach of the Year is Keith Green of Brentwood High School. Great season. There you go.
Congrats.
Thank you. Our Nassau County Coach of the Year, who was also honored with one of our Decades Coaches of the Year, the incomparable Tom Catapano of Baldwin High School. Seems like you've been around forever. Congratulations. Good job.
Congrats.
Congratulations to the first team All Long Island girls basketball. You guys take your seats. Good job. Our next team will be our boys basketball first team. Okay, our first player for boys basketball first team is Brandon Varlak, Half Hollow Hills East High School. Congratulations.
Congrats, boy.
Our next All Long Island selection is Nigel James, Long Island Lutheran High School. Congratulations.
Let's go ahead, fella. Good to see you.
Our next All Long Island selection is Jesse Rogendorf of Great Neck South High School. Congratulations. Great year.
Congratulations.
Our next All Long Island player is Dylan Mingo of Long Island Lutheran High School. Congratulations.
Congrats, boy. Thank you.
Our next All Long Island selection is Chase Timberlake of Baldwin High School. Great job.
Congrats, boy.
Our next first teamer is Jeremiah Webb of Wyandanch High School. Congratulations. Good job.
Congrats, boy.
Our next first teamer is Carter Wilson of Bayshore High School. Congratulations.
My man. He's nervous.
We'd also like to recognize Kion Anthony of Long Island Lutheran High School. I don't believe he was able to make it. He's at a showcase. So we'll have one of the guys take his sweatshirt with you guys, all right? Thank you. Our Suffolk County Player of the Year is Dom Penzello of Mount Sinai High School. Congratulations. Great year.
Congrats, boy.
And our Newsday Player of the Year is Caden Mingo of Long Island Lutheran High School. Great year. Congratulations.
Congrats. Thank you.
We have 3 Coaches of the Year for the boys. Private school, Suffolk County, Nassau County. Our Nassau County Coach of the Year is Sean Dooley of Port Washington High School. Congratulations. Great season.
Congrats, Coach.
Our Suffolk County Coach of the Year is Ryan McNeely of Mount Sinai High School. Congratulations.
Hell of a job, man.
Our private school Coach of the Year is Sal Logano of St. Anthony's High School. First team All Long Island boys basketball. Congratulations, guys. Our next team will be our girls basketball second team. Our first player is Sandra Clark from West Hampton High School. Congratulations.
Congrats.
Our next player is Michaela Daub of Mepham High School. Congratulations.
Congrats.
Sophia Della Rada of North Shore High School.
Congrats.
Monique Eccles, Baldwin High School.
Congratulations.
Kyle Fennell, Garden City High School. Made it from practice.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Claire Fitzpatrick, Northport High School.
Congratulations.
Kayla Mannix, Wantor High School.
Congratulations.
Emily McDonald, Long Island Lutheran High School. Kate Nelms, Syosset High School.
Congratulations.
Emma Robbins, Division High School. There, number 55, huh? Love it.
Congratulations.
Emma wears number 55 in honor of her grandfather, who was the winningest baseball coach in Long Island history. It's pretty cool. Our next player is Allison Twibell of East Meadow High School. And Sophia Vasselman of Comac High School.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to the girls basketball second team, All Long Island. Thank you, ladies.
Congratulations, lady.
Now for our boys basketball second team, All Long Island. Isaiah Blunt, West Hempstead High School. Great season.
Congrats.
Anthony Karras, Floral Park High School.
Congrats.
Will Cassius, East Meadow High School. Congratulations.
Congrats.
Dylan Craig, Bayport Blue Point High School.
Congratulations.
You want an answer?
Nah, you got it.
Amir Dickinson, Amityville High School. Congratulations.
2 times, man. Come on, man. You're scary. Yeah.
Skylar Ellis, Half Hollow Hills East High School. Lamonte Gardner, Deer Park High School. Ryan Leary, Call Place High School. Mello Mojid, St. Dominic High School. Congratulations. Kevin Moore, St. Anthony's High School. Juwan Smith, Floyd High School. Navon Williams, Southampton High School. Our boys basketball second team, all Long Island. Congratulations to everybody. Nice job, fellas. All right, we're going to take all players into the photo studio. Steve, you take it from here. We're going to take our team photos. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you to AJ Price for doing such a great job in our Newsday Live.